Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Good morning, everyone. Today, let's continue to study the subject of clarity. When we say clarity, what are you going to think on the meaning of it? Basically, in my understanding, when we talk about clarity, that means we wanted to have a clear mind and think clearly. So at the same time, based on this clarity, we wanted to develop right thinking and a right understanding, including right mindfulness. Be able to aware of all kinds of changes and correctly to understand all the phenomena and be able to manage those changes. So clarity is very important in Buddhism. And last time I used this book, The Buddha Speaks, to introduce some of the original teachings of Buddha from sutras. But today, instead of use this book's contents, I decided to introduce another story that I found from Vinaya basket. After I read the part of the basket, and I feel this story is very, very interesting. And also there are a lot of things we can learn from this story. This was a story happened in Buddha's time. In the past few days, whenever I have the opportunity, I'm going to open Mahisasaka Nikaya. Mahisasaka Nikaya. There is a book related with Nikaya precepts. Okay, and in this book, there was a story in it. Once, when Buddha was in Magadha kingdom, and one day, an ascetic, this practitioner actually related with a religion of China. They believe in a way that they wanted to be free from all kinds of attachment. So in their teaching, they have a precept, don't wear any clothes. So most of the time they are naked and no clothes on the body. So this is a very special practice in India. This practitioner, actually no names mentioned, just call him an ascetic and also a practitioner outside of Buddhism. One day, he decided to go to the monastery and asking monks who wants to debate with me. Okay, I wanted to debate with you because in that time Buddha was over there, and also a group of PQ live in the monastery. So he thought he wants to debate with monks or even Buddha. Then if he can persuade monks and win the debate, then he's going to be more famous. Actually, this ascetic was very famous in Magadha kingdom, and people respect him as a great teacher. Yeah. And after he announced this idea to monks around the monastery, at the time many monks were in meditation. Nobody paid attention to him. Monks still continue to meditate, and even no one opened eyes to say hi to him. At the time, Shariputra, a great disciple of Buddha, he was in the group. Suddenly, he feels that if nobody responds from the monastery, then it's going to be a negative news for the monastery of Buddhism. And I have to find a way to talk to this ascetic and debate with him. But Shariputra continued to think carefully. He told himself, if right now, today, I use one talk, I use one sentence, or use one words to defeat this ascetic, then it's going to make him very uncomfortable. Perhaps he's going to be very angry about the debate, because for him it's very shameful. He lost the debate. So maybe it's not the right way to debate with him. So let me talk to him. Let's arrange 7 days time, 7 days, for the debate. So we can go back and forth, providing enough opportunity for this ascetic to express his, ideas, and to communicate with him. Let's have 7 days debate, not a 1 day debate. Okay. So Shariputra decided to get up and talk to this ascetic. This ascetic agreed. So they announced this news in the city, yeah, and telling everyone that the second teacher in Buddhism, that means Shariputra. The first teacher was Buddha. The second teacher was Shariputra, the second teacher in Buddhism, and the first teacher in China. They are going to debate for 7 days. So it was a big news around the country, and everybody is welcome to listen and watch this debate, listen to their debates. So Shariputra actually debated with this ascetic, for some time, and they discussed, a subject of desire. Where does this desire coming from? Okay, and Shariputra said, desire is original from our minds, because there is kind of a thinking in our mind. That is the roots of desire. Okay, but this ascetic say another concept. He said desire is based on the context. Whenever we contact, outside world, there will be desire. But the problem is, Shariputra said, if desire is not original from the mind, instead of from mind, desire is based on context. That means in everyday life, you see all kinds of people, all kinds of things. You are always, having desires all the time. This reason is not the facts. Finally, the ascetic agreed and say that I do agree with you, Shariputra. You are the winner of this debate. At the moment, this ascetic started to think that learning Buddhism is so good, is so wise, and this is a way to liberation, not my way, what I believe in. So he decided to become a monk in a monastery. But something was very interesting happened at the moment. He looked around in the monastery. He sees Shariputra. He's kind of small and skinny, not a strong person, not a big person, not a handsome person. Okay. At the same time, he saw Bananda, another monk, another bhikkhu. He saw Bananda, who's very handsome and tall and strong. In this ascetic's mind, suddenly he told himself, even a person like Shariputra, who's small and skinny, he's very wise, very intelligent. Then I see this monk, Bananda. He's strong, he's big, he's tall, and he's handsome. He must be wiser. Today, when I ask you, do you agree with his understanding? Probably you are not. We cannot judge anyone from his outlook. Yes, sometimes people looking good, maybe he's good. But sometimes people look, handsome, but may not be actually good inside or very wise inside. So there are a lot of differences, between all these phenomena. But this ascetic make his final decision. Instead of paying respect to Shariputra, ask him to be his teacher. He went to Bananda. He asked Bananda to accept him as his disciple. Bananda did not think clearly. He agreed, accept this ascetic to be his disciple. But after this ascetic became a monk, he started to study Buddha's teaching, study the Dharma, study Vijnana. But all kinds of questions he asked, Bananda couldn't answer him. So he was very disappointed. Now, probably all of you wanted to know, who's Bananda? Bananda is one bhikkhu in the gang of 6 bhikkhus. He's one of the 6 bhikkhus in the game of 6 bhikkhus. This term is very interesting in Vijnana because in Buddha's time, in the Sangha, actually we have a special term to describe this gang. A group of a bhikkhu, there are 6 bhikkhus. So we call this the gang of 6 bhikkhus. Why the Sangha call them the gang of 6 bhikkhus? Because those 6 bhikkhus, even they are monks, but somehow they are not follow everything properly. Sometimes they may talk improperly. Sometimes they may like to dance. They may like to sing a song in front of the public. And even some of the bhikkhus in this game, when they see someone who's practicing what you call the arch, try to practice arch, when they saw those people are not skillful, they will grab the arch and demonstrate to those people, even shoot some birds. It was not good. It was not good. And some bhikkhus, they like to wear beautiful robes, new robes, okay, not old one. Okay. When I study the background of those 6 bhikkhus, I discovered that all of them, six bhikkhus, all of them, they originate from rich families and famous families. They were rich and famous, but somehow they joined the Sangha, became monks. And so in Vienna, the book always emphasizes on certain story related with those 6 bhikkhus. And so nowadays, whenever we talk about the gain of 6 bhikkhus, it's a kind of a negative to describe that in Buddha's time, there are 6 bhikkhus did not follow, the right way to join the Sangha. They always create some problems for others. Okay. Right now, let's back to the story. Penanda accepts this ascetic as a disciple. Then this ascetic discovered he couldn't teach him. So this ascetic started to feel very disappointed. Then he made another judgment. Except Shariputra, other monks are all foolish. They don't understand anything about the Dharma. So finally, he left the Sangha, back to his own religion. And of course, after we study more, then after some time, this ascetic back to the Sangha again. But Buddha did not allow him to become monks again. Okay, that was another story. So right now, I wanted to ask you to think about this kind of contents. Yeah. And when Shariputra used his skill to debate with this ascetic, that was so wise. But at the same time, and Penanda, without any thinking, simply accept ascetic's requirement to let him join the Sangha. It was not right decision. So his mind was not clear. But now you know Penanda was not making the right decision because his mind was not clear. He did not understand everything clearly. Okay. And finally, one day, after a lot of monks discuss about the matter of this ascetic, they ask Buddha, what should we do when we face this kind of reality? One ascetic came to the Sangha, became a monk. Then he disrobed himself back to his own religion. Now he's coming back to the Sangha again. Shall we accept his ask? Then Buddha said that in this case, we should not let him join the Sangha again because we cannot guarantee he's not going to change his mind, because he's strongly attached to what he's thinking, he's believing, he's doing. and also he's making judgments so superficial. So Buddha asked Penanda, did you do this on this case? Penanda said, yes, Buddha, I did. I was wrong. And then Buddha set up this precept for everyone in the Sangha, that from now on, we cannot accept any ascetic who's left the Sangha and coming back to the Sangha again. So we can accept him for once, but not for the second time. This is one precept in PQ precept. Okay. Today, after we finish this story, then I wanted to mention another part. Perhaps you have a question. If the gang of 6 PQs were not doing things correctly in the Sangha, why the Sangha still let him stay in the Sangha? This is a very necessary question for us to ask. After we study those 6 PQs, then we also discover why they continue stay in the Sangha. Because when they did something wrong, there was no precept yet. Just like today, there's no law yet. You do this, it's not right. But after we have the law, we have the precept, and announce this law, announce this precept, those 6 PQs, they will follow those laws, follow those precepts precisely. So actually, they listen to the Buddha. They follow the teaching. Okay, and before the precept being arranged, being set up, yes, they were not doing things correctly. But after they knew this is a precept, then they are going to follow those precepts. So that's why they can continue to stay in the Sangha. So today I wanted to share this story with you because I feel it's very interesting, very meaningful. We can learn a lot from this story. Okay, and the way Shariputra handled the situation, he's so wise, so mindful, so intelligent. Okay, thank you so much. Namo Buddha, Namo Dhamma, Namo Sangha. Namo Buddha, Namo Dhamma, Namo Sangha. Namo Buddha, Namo Dhamma, Namo Sangha.